Welcome to Training Module 1, Syllabus Construction. My name is Natalie Page, and I'll be your narrator for this training module. In this module, we're going to talk about how to effectively prepare and construct your syllabus. Creating your syllabus is one of the most important parts of your class preparation. Your syllabus is your contract and bond. It clearly communicates course expectations. A successful semester begins when both teachers and students are brought together through the course syllabus. The purpose of this audio PowerPoint is to walk you through the steps for completing and setting up your course syllabi. Now, by definition, a syllabus is an outline of the subjects in a course of study or teaching. So let's begin. South Suburban has a syllabus template that you should be using in constructing your syllabus. But let's talk about some of the purposes of a syllabus. Your syllabus will set the tone for your course. It'll communicate what, when, and how students will learn. It'll make clear to students what they need to do in order to be successful in your class. It also communicates expectations in terms of students' responsibilities, what they need to do, again, to be successful. And it deters misunderstandings about course policies. South Suburban, as I stated, has a course template that you will use, and you will find this by talking to your chair or to your dean, and they'll be able to get you the template. And the template has all of the categories that you need to include in your course syllabus. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through each one of the various categories. So the first part of this, it would be more your course overview. And so here you're going to tell the semester that the class is taking place. You'll tell us the course title and section. You can get the IAA number from your chairperson. They'll be able to get that for you, your department chairperson. And then you'll do the length of the course, how long it's going to go, if it's a 16 weeks, if it's a late start course, and then the contact hours, and that also will be something that you can get from your department chair. And the contact hour is just a measure that represents an hour of scheduled instruction given to your students. And then you'll have your class meeting times, and that's simply when the class actually takes place. Then you'll have the room, that's where the class is going to take place. And then you'll have the instructor, that's you. And then you'll have the phone number. Now, the phone number that you'll probably want to give will be the number to your admin in your department area, and they will relay any messages to you. And then your email address. South Suburban College really would prefer that you use the email address that was assigned to you with the ssc.edu tagline. So you want to use that for your email address. The next thing that you want to look at, the next section of your syllabus will be your course requirement and grading. And here you're going to give a little bit more detail. I like to consider the first section more housekeeping items. Like I said, how your students can contact you, that sort of thing. Now this one here, you're going to give a course description, and you will be able to locate this in the catalog, the course catalog, and it'll tell you what the course description is, but also your department chair would also be able to get that for you. You want to tell us the required texts and materials that they'll need, and the text will just be whatever textbook you're using. You'll also want to include any materials. For example, if you were teaching a speech class, maybe you would need your students to have note cards. Then you're going to include your course objectives and measurable student learning outcomes. Again, this is something that you should be able to get from your department chair, and they will already have this for you. And then you will include the method of instruction. And here you're going to tell if it's a lecture, if it's a lab, if it's a hybrid or blended course. You want to tell us, your students, how they're going to get the instruction in the class. Most classes will be lecture. The next part of Section 2 for course grading and requirements would be the definition statement of active pursuit of the course. This is information, again, this information is already stated. You'll note that that's there. You have to have this in your syllabus, so you won't really have to make any changes here. And then there's the academic integrity. These are things that are already included in the template. And then student contact, you'll notice that as well. I do recommend, especially for our adjunct faculty members, that you might want to read through this so that you are familiar with the content. The next part you will want to put would be the student support services, and this is where students can get any academic help. Service for Students with Disability Office tells where they would go for that. There's an Academic Assistance Center, there's a Speaking Center, a Writing Center, and the library. And this, again, is just any type of assistance that your students will need to be successful in your class. Then after that, you want to spend some time talking about your classroom etiquette. Now, this is not already included in the template, so you'll need to put some thought as far as what are going to be some of your classroom policies. You will see here that we say perhaps you want to include cell phone use in your class if you let your students use their cell phones, or if you have a cell phone free zone. You want to tell them about food or talking, leaving the classroom. You'll want to be as detailed as possible here. Whatever your classroom policies, you want to include that. If you are in doubt and you'd like to see examples of other faculty members and what they have included in their particular syllabus or syllabi, you might want to talk to your department chair and they can get that information. The next section will be grading. And here what you want to do is you want to tell your students exactly how they're going to be graded. What does it take to get an A? What does it take to get a B, etc.? And so you want to break your points down. You can take it by a percentage basis, or you can give it just by a point basis. So you would say class participation if that's an item that you're going to include in assignments. If you're going to have quizzes, you want to tell us what those points are. If you're going to have any exams, you want to let us know if there's one, there's two, there's a midterm, a final. You want to include if there's research papers, all of that. You want to give your students what the percentage they need to earn for an A, a B, a C, etc. And then you'll notice that you'll also want to tell them what does the grade mean. So you'll want to tell them that to get an A, you need to have completed all assignments at a 90% or better. A B would mean, and so you want to define what it means exactly to get a particular grade in your course. The next part of Section 2 that you'll also want to include would be late work and makeup assignments. You want to clearly define what your policies are for this part. Will you accept late work? How late after the due date? What's the grade penalty? You want to include all of that information. Again, the purpose of your syllabus is to make sure that you are clearly communicating what the expectations are from your students. And then you want to have a topical outline or a course calendar. And this will just kind of let them know what they can expect on a class-by-class basis. So an example of this would be on here where you can see we have our events of instruction. You might want to include something that says, please note that this is a tentative schedule and general syllabus. Dates are subject to change. I will inform you of any changes that may occur. And the reason I have this here is just in the case that maybe you are sick, or perhaps you have a lecture and your students aren't understanding some terms or concepts and you go on a little bit longer, you take up more time. And you would want to let them know that there have been changes to this. But this should include what they can expect in class, what homework. This would be chapter readings. They should be able to look at this and know when there's exams, if there's presentations, if there's written work, whatever they're going to need. This should all be included in this portion of your syllabus. So this concludes the first training module on syllabus construction. Again, the goal of your syllabus is to make sure that you let your students know what your expectations are. You want to go over this in detail on the first day of class so that they can ask questions and you can answer them. But again, you want to put a lot of thought into what you place on your syllabus. Remember that you can always see examples, especially for our adjunct faculty members. You can see examples. You can talk to your department chair or your dean, and they can show you examples of various syllabus or syllabi from different departments. You'll also note that your syllabus is ever-changing. You may want to even have a folder where you're constantly writing things that you want to include for the next semester. If you have any questions about syllabus construction, feel free to reach out to Natalie Page at extension 5838. Thank you very much.